Well, hey guys, this is DK Spencer, and obviously today we're going to be shooting another ballistic skull. So if you're new to my channel, make sure to like and subscribe and check out my old videos. I've got a ton of videos where I shoot ballistic skulls, ballistic gel, ballistic Joel, my friend that I do less lethal testing on. If you haven't heard of him, you're really missing out. I also do a lot of videos where I show you guys how to modify and customize stuff like you see behind me, so you can do this stuff yourself. I do a lot of, step-by-step instructional videos with testing along the way, so you can see how to do the mods and what the mods are actually doing as far as power goes. I do a lot of less lethal testing for power and for damage. Again, the skulls, the gel, we shoot steel, we shoot coquanets. If you don't know what that is, you haven't been watching my channel. So anyway, the main purpose of this video today is the Six Needler from Go Gun. So this is not a less lethal launcher. This is a CO2 powered launcher that actually launches basically blowgun darts. So it is a revolver, so you get multiple shots out of it. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to see how much power we get out of it. These do come with a second valve that actually gives them more power. So we're going to test it the way it comes. Then we're going to change the valve. I'll show you guys how to do that. We'll figure it out together. I've yet to open this thing up, so I've never seen it in person yet. But then we're going to change out the valve and test it with that valve. The company told me that the other valve gives you more power, but you lose accuracy. We'll see if that's true. My boy Damian Darko with Band State Tactical with that Shattered Laugh Productions channel, he tested his just with the factory valve that came in it, and he was only getting about 5 joules out of it. But it was a great video. You guys should definitely check it out. The way these are designed, it's a very thin dart, like a needle, hence the Six Needler. So they penetrate pretty easy. One of the things we're going to do is, we're not going to do a head-to-head comparison or anything necessarily, no pun intended, but we are going to shoot the head at least one time with the Mini Striker repeating crossbow. Promised one of my viewers I would do this a little while back, the next time I got a ballistic skull. I've shot it with these before, but it's not been a good skull that hadn't already been halfway demolished and not a head-on shot. So we're going to do that. Comparing this to anything else you see behind me, the less lethal or airgun stuff, is not even going to be as close as comparing it to this. So this definitely is going to be the closest thing to it that I've got, probably, because I mean, this shoots a bolt, it's designed to penetrate. This shoots a dart, it's designed to penetrate. If I was a betting man, I would say this one's going to do more damage, but this one's going to be a little easier to work with. So anyway, and a little easier to probably carry. This has kind of got a crazy profile to it. Not as bad as some crossbows, but still. So anyway, we're going to get right to it. And yeah. So I'm going to put you back in the refrigerator. I knew him well. I'm too old for this. Alright, let's open this puppy up and see what we got. Yes, that is a flamethrower. So we got the Spyderco Civilian here, and we don't have any tape to use it on. Okay, I saw that white stripe and thought it was tape, and it is actually not. That's just printed on there to maybe look like tape. I don't know. Okay, anyway, so no tape. So I've watched a few videos of these. Everybody that looks at these, everybody says the same thing. It looks way nicer than I expect it to. So I expect it to look pretty doggone nice. So we'll see. It actually does look pretty doggone nice. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll say it. It looks nicer than I expected it to. It's pretty solid feeling. So, nice screw there. The handle, not so much. The handle is very uncomfortable. It's completely flat right there. Pretty bulbous there. Sights look good. I mean, it'd be nice if they had like some white on them or something like that, but they're a good quality. You know, they're bulky, they're big, they're bulky, but they're made well. Like good example, like a Tip-X has some awfully dinky sights. The HDR 50s, they don't have the best either. This one, if it just had some dots on it or some white paint, whatever, they would be really nice. Very good notch, symmetrical. You see some of this stuff, it's not even symmetrical. So like the sights, like the cylinder, I like that. So this thing kind of looks like a cross between a pepper box and a judge. But anyway, all right, so that does come out. I'm going to guess with the power levels, even with the other valve in it, I'm going to think that you're probably going to get multiple shots out of one of these. Multiple cylinders out of one of these. Obviously, you're going to get multiple shots, but I would say you get, 2 or 3 anyway, just cause they're not pushing a whole lot of power. You take something like, a FSC that's turned all the way up, you're only going to get like 6 shots out of it, but you're pushing a whole lot more power than this. So anyway, the mechanism there is pretty doggone solid. Okay, it does have a safety. It has a trigger safety. Most revolvers don't, but hey, with this kind of stuff, the more safety's the better. I probably would keep the safety off if I was carrying it on me, but then cut it on when I would set it down. So it's just like a double action revolver, double or single action. So pretty decent pull. And then single action. Pretty good trigger pull there. So no complaints on the trigger pull, definitely no complaints on the sights, no complaints on that. Don't like this, that's too bulky. And it's already, you couldn't put like a Hogue grip or something on it. That's one thing, it's already too, the Hogue would help though, even though it would still make it bigger, because it's such, the angles are so freaking sharp there. It just, you're not going to be taking this thing out and range day with it all day and stuff like that. So does it much matter that it's not super comfortable? No, but would it be nice if it was made a little different? Yes, absolutely. And the handle is kind of cheap. But the good news is the handle easily comes off. Let's see, I guess you need to take that down. The handle easily comes off, so somebody could actually make an aftermarket for it. It's not going to fix the front because that's, that part is already flat. Because they can't make it wrap around it because it has to come off of it. So anyway, what's going on there? Okay, so that comes off too. So if that part comes off too, you could at least change this piece and put some finger grooves in it. Greg at East Coast Less Lethal, hint, hint. So, but anyway. Yeah, so you could do that. Somebody could manufacture some grips there. So, all right, so yeah. Now, here's the other valve that comes with it. So we'll have to figure out how to do that. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Probably some easy way to do it, but I might look on there and see if they give directions. If not, we'll figure it out. Couldn't be harder than any of the other stuff we do on a daily basis. All right, so it did come with some little O-rings, an extra CO2 seal, and then a little instruction card there to scan to see the owner's manual. Nothing in there. All right. So there's that. Well, let's see. Let's look at the ammo. All right, 50 pack air gun darts. Okay. All right. Those are smaller than I expected even. Wow. All right, so let me tell you guys a little bit about me real quick before I start talking about this very much. Some of you guys know this. Some of you guys may be new to the channel. I don't talk about this a lot on the channel because it's usually not pertinent to what we're doing. But here's my history. So I'm 48 years old. I've been working in medicine in some capacity since I was 18 years old. I started out way back then as an EMT, then became a National Registry paramedic working on an ambulance in the city. Then I became a RN, a registered nurse. So I worked as a paramedic / RN in various emergency rooms, one of which being a level 1 trauma center. So I saw a lot of gunshot wounds, knives, and different stuff like that, knifings. Flash forward, over I guess about 14 years ago, I went back to school, got a master's degree in science, and I also got my nurse practitioner. So now I own my own medical practice, and I work as a nurse practitioner. And in my state, a nurse practitioner does the exact same thing as a doctor. So I'm writing prescriptions and doing procedures and stuff on people all day. I'm not like a nurse that gives shots and passes out medicine. So right now I work in geriatrics and mental health, but I do have a very robust history in trauma. So I say all that to say this is not going to stop someone like a lot of you people think it's going to. This is basically a medium-sized needle that you would stick in someone, and let me demonstrate that. Not the sticking in someone part, but I grabbed a 22 gauge. So here's a 22 gauge needle. So the smaller the number, the bigger the needle. So that's a 22 gauge needle that you give a shot with. Okay, this is, from what I can see, this is one size bigger than that one. So this should be a 20 gauge. It might be an 18, but if I was a betting man, I would say it's only a 20 gauge. So like, I will start an IV on somebody with, a 14 gauge if they need fluid fast enough or something. So this is not a big needle. And it is a needle. It does not have a broadhead point on it or anything. It is smooth-sided. It does not have any kind of cutting edge to it whatsoever. So if this thing sticks in you, now let me back up and tell you something else. So your pain receptors are mostly on the surface of your skin. Now, why is that? Well, because God made us that way, because we touch stuff with the surface of our skin, not the insides of our bodies. So you have more nerves on the surface of your skin. So if you're giving somebody a shot, and the faster you go when you give the shot, the less that shot hurts them. If you just push it through the surface of their skin slowly, it hurts way more than it goes fast. This is going to go fast just like a shot. So this is not even going to really hurt that bad when it goes in someone. Don't get me wrong. The psychological effect of looking down and seeing 6 of these sticking out of your torso would be pretty big. But don't think that this is going to have some knockdown to it. It's not going to have an instant stopping effect. Now, don't get me wrong. We're going to test this on a ballistic skull. If this hits you in the nugget, that's going to be a bad day. And there's places on your nugget that's going to be a really bad day. There's places this can hit that's going to be a really bad day. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this thing can't be effective. I'm just saying that a center mass shot with this, if you do true center mass and you hit sternum, that's going to hurt like heck. But abdominal cavity, this is not going to do very much at all. And the thing of it is, when you pull it out, that hole is going to close up pretty doggone quick unless they're on blood thinners or something. That's the kind of hole that you give a shot with and pull it out and they don't bleed afterwards. You a lot of times don't even have to have a Band-Aid for a shot that size. So that's just bear all that in mind before you get too wrapped up thinking. And I guess I say that to say this. So in Germany, they either ban these or are trying to ban these because they'll go through a bulletproof vest. Now, not body armor, but a bulletproof vest. Well, of course they will. It's a super thin freaking needle. They're going to go between the fibers of a vest very easily. A vest that's made to stop a pistol caliber. That's a given, right? But once they go through it, what are they going to do? Well, not a whole lot. But anyway, they're making a big deal about it because they'll go through it. So anyway, I think it's a neat concept, and I think, you know, shot placement, you can definitely do something with it, but I just don't want anybody to get it in their head that, oh, this is going to stop somebody cold in their tracks. Not necessarily. All right, let's find out what she'll do. Oh, wait, more importantly, we don't know nothing till we know weight. For any of you noobs out there, when you're calculating energy in less lethal, a lot of people in air guns use foot-pounds. In less lethal, we use joules. To find out joules, you need to weigh your projectile. So these are 1.39, and you're going to calculate the weight of your projectile and your velocity, your feet per second, to give you a power rating in joules. There we go. So 1.39. All right, that's extremely light, like extremely light. Okay, so I better put this needle up before I end up stabbing myself with it. So here's what we're going to do. As with anything like this, where is it? There it is. I like to put a little bit of lube. So I'm going to put 2 drops of Captain O-Ring marker lube. Now this did not come with any kind of lube or anything. I'm going to put 2 drops of that right onto the valve there. Or the CO2 seal rather. And yeah, need to get some CO2. Okay. Right. You have to kind of watch that to get that on either side of it. Okay. That should be metal, because that reminds me of like some of these cheap tripods that have the little plastic thing like that, and I break every one of them. But it's just that screw into this plastic thing. That's the cheapest part of it. So grips are cheap. That's very cheap. Everything from there forward is really nice, just to be completely, you know, blunt about it. They could have definitely, I mean, the price point, it's not that expensive, but if you're going to make everything there that nice, make this nice too, and definitely make that, because that, you know, you shouldn't, I'm not going to say it's going to break, but daggone, if I wouldn't be at least a little bit scared of it, scared. So anyway, we'll see how it holds up. You shouldn't be having to tighten it very tight, so hopefully not an issue, but alright, so we're going to cut the safety on just cause. Now, when my boy Damien was loading these, he was having some issues with them snagging. He wasn't pushing them in very far, and they were coming back a little bit and catching. So I'm going to make sure to actually insert those a little extra far. So I'm just doing as far as I can push them with the tip of my finger. So they're definitely recessed down in there a little bit like that. So, and the tips are still not out the end, so that's good. They're right at it though, but you can't, you know, you can feel them if you try, but whatever. So yeah. So let's recap so far. Somebody should make a finger groove section here, maybe something nicer here just for aesthetics and looks, whatever. Not much you can do about how wide that is there, but it'll be okay. If they took a little bit off of that right there, just to where it, you know, took a little bit off there, put some finger grooves in that piece, that would be nice. This should have been better to start with. Everything else, cool. I'll probably put some paint on the sights, but they are good looking sights. Yeah. Then also to recap, these, to be more effective, they should be flat and sharp on both sides, or they should make a little bitty, like a little bitty broadhead for, you know, it would not be like a broadhead you would attach. It would have to be integrated like a one-piece design, like these that you buy that have that. But little anything a little bit bigger. It wouldn't have to be much bigger, but something with a cutting edge, whether you make the whole thing a cutting edge on both sides or just something on the tip that's got a cutting edge. But something with a cutting edge is going to be a lot more effective, but it's still not going to be a knockdown kind of thing. Think about deer hunting. Go on, think about it. Now I'm going to show you guys real quick. So these, here, hang on. All right, so with the Striker mini crossbow, we're going to use a field tip. Put that in perspective. So obviously, you know, that's going to be the closest thing to that, but there's still, you know, night and day difference. But with the Striker, you can actually upgrade to that, which is going to be hoo-wah. Let's do this. Alright, so there she is out in the sunlight. Alright, so we're set up 30 feet away. We've got a dense foam target up there for archery, obviously. And let's see what we can do. Alright, so we're going to point this in a safe direction. So it didn't really have a click to it or anything. So hopefully we're good. I've got ye old yellow button chronograph here. I guess I'm going to hold it right about there. Alright. I guess you got to have the safety, yeah, you got to have the safety off to even cock it, so we're going to shoot it in the single action mode. Well, that was 308 and way off target. .300. So I'm hitting very low and to the left. .278. I'll tell y'all what the best one was here in a minute. So far, 308. She's dropping. That one actually hit the center though. So, maybe these things are wildly, you know, they did tell me that with the other valve you really lost accuracy. So now that it's slowed down to 258, maybe it's hitting where it's supposed to. I don't know. What is that, 5, 4? Yeah, that one hit. It's 250, and that one hit back over, you know, where the other ones are. And here's the last one. And that one hit low and to the right, so 280 on that one. Alright, so our lowest was 4 joules, our highest was 6 joules. So between 4 and 6 joules. Oh crap. I was going to put a EOTech on it because that would look cool, but it's just a touch. Well, we could put a different EOTech on it. Whoo-pow! Yeah, that's right. I'm doing that just because these are just so much easier to to adjust, and we're going to have it sighted in good. I mean, I could, you know, account for it or whatever, but I'd rather not have to. I want to try to at least sight it in enough to hit the skull. So let's take a look at what it did at the target. I forgot to cut the GoPro on. The GoPro. That one took a nasty hit at one point. So that's some thick foam. I mean, that is some thick foam. Granted, those are tiny little needles, but that actually really buried up. I mean, look at that. That's crazy. So I am impressed with that. That's pretty crazy. Huh, interesting. And I guess if we were shooting it, I was aiming here, obviously. So I guess if we were shooting at a normal American torso, we would have hit all of them, probably. Golly. Yep, that one is not gonna. Whoops. Poop. Now I'm gonna have metal up in. I guess I can get some pliers and pull them out, but. So, dang. There we go. Alright, I'm not going to use those again because they may or may not be bent. Alright. Don't even know where that hit. Investigate that. All right, so I think we're hitting a little low. All right. All right. Gracious. Really? Okay. All right, just for the heck of it. I haven't shot this thing in so long I don't remember how to do it. Safety. I'm at 30 feet. I think I already told you all that, but I'm not sure what happened with that, because this thing has traditionally been extremely accurate, but two of them completely missed the whole thing. I adjusted up, but I don't know what the heck. That was weird. I am shooting with my glasses and probably shouldn't be, but just to show you though how far those went in out of that long and how much bigger around that is. So these are definitely going to be more effective, but yeah, let's see what's up. Let me try this again, just cause. Still low. There we go. That hit actually in the bullseye circle. I think that hit right beside it. Let's find out. Yeah, so I'm not sure what was going on with those two wild ones, but yeah, we'll do a couple clicks to the left and we should be good for skull action on that one. Alright, so I did put a new CO2 in this and obviously reloaded it. Okay. Still hit at the bottom of the white ring in the center, in case you guys can't see that. I'm probably not going to run the GoPro for this stuff. And I hit even lower that time, but that may have been my fault. That was not my fault. This thing's all over the place. Okay. Well, that one, I saw that one go whoosh, whoosh. Interesting. So that's kind of where we're hitting. I think that was the last one, so it was farther off than any of the rest of them. Those aren't in as far, which is great, because I would suggest if you get one of these to go ahead and buy plenty of extra darts. Alright, so this is the second cylinder. I mean the second cylinder full, so not CO2 cylinder, but this cylinder is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to just check feet per second again for the heck of it, maybe. Now I hit really high, so we're in the 250s, so that's like 4, barely over 4. Let's see if it's just because I was not steady. I didn't hit low with that one. There, I hit it in the bullseye area. There we go. That one hit low right next to the other one that was low. That bullseye again. Alright, so I'm kind of wondering if they're not correct about it being less accurate when it's got more power, because as we're running down in the CO2, I'm feeling like it's getting more accurate. But anyway, could be me, but I don't think so. I'm usually a pretty good shot. So I'm not going to increase the, I'm not going to replace the CO2, because like I say, I'm kind of thinking the thing's hitting a lot better. We'll see what it does like this. Well, we missed the skull. That hit the skull. That missed the skull. That hit the skull. That really missed it. That hit its chin. So for any of the people that, I know, like I made the burn a CL video, and the CL is actually pretty accurate. No power, but it is pretty accurate. But for any of the people that are saying, oh, I'll just put this right in their, EYE, good luck with that. Because I'm definitely, if you've watched my videos for years, you know that I'm usually a pretty doggone good shot. I did a video with the CL where I was hitting like every shot in the left eyeball of a mannequin head from about the same distance. So this, I can't even hit the skull every time, and I'm not even under pressure. So just bear that in mind. That really missed it. Alright, so here's what we got. So that one hit there. I don't think that even hit bone. That one did. So that one hit bone. That's a pretty thin bone, but still, that one, and it was hitting it at an angle too. So that's pretty impressive there. That one just nicked bone, but it did penetrate bone. So, yeah, if you hit somebody in the right place with this, it would be a bad day. But the right place is, number one, going to be hard to hit because the thing's all over the place. And number two, when I say right place, it's going to have to be, really a right place. About anywhere in this area is going to do it, though. It's at least going to make somebody stop. Alright, let's try again. Alright, so I re-CO2'd it, reloaded it, and take the glasses off. I'm going to kind of compensate a little bit. Did I hit it? There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Well, that was much better. Alright, so those did go in the skull. We got no brain busting on the ballistic skull, though. That would have been a real bad day right there. That would have been a bad day whether it busted anything in there or not. That would also have been a really bad day. That would have, well, it would have sucked, but anyway. Yeah, looks like a voodoo doll. That's pretty crazy. Still no leakage, no nothing going on though. All right. So, I mean, I'm kind of got mixed feelings about, upgrading the valve, because accuracy is apparently, not this thing's strong suit anyway. And if they say it makes it worse, so I don't know. Because, I mean, it penetrates great. As you can see, though, into the skull, we're getting like 3/4 of the way in or whatever. But let's shoot ye old striker. I keep forgetting you gotta cut the safety off every time. That went right in the nugget. Ooh. Now we got some liquid action. That's a real bad day. All of those are real bad days. Real bad days. Look at that. That ain't cool. Look at that. Well, if I was doing a head-to-head comparison, no pun intended, I think I would stick with the striker. For sure. For sure. Jeez. Let's get something else out. Alright. Just cause, y'all know. So I am going to hold off on the other valve. We'll do that in a different video and do the testing and stuff, because we're losing daylight. That skull's about as messed up as it's going to get anyway. At the best, it's going to just penetrate a little more than what it's doing, but So this is an X68 Gen 1, so it's intrabuster, same thing as a Gen 1. We've got the long chamber from Home Defense 24, 1100 psi output regulator. We've just got a factory barrel. I've got some 8-gram Grimberg Joule V1s in here. That sounded like a friggin' gunshot. Am I hitting it? I might not. Let me make sure I'm hitting it. Woo. See right off the bat, we've got skull crackage there, because that started it there. So we've got a nice good, see that? Nice hole there. Oh, what else did we do? I guess some of those was hitting over here, maybe. Hit that. Apparently I hit one of those. I should have checked to see how sighted in it was, because I've moved that optic. It's definitely a bad day. Well, I kind of think we've done all the dart and arrow testing we can do. Looks like the X68. I know I hit it there and did that. I'm not sure, and I did hit it there and it broke that stuff. But looks like I've hit some up there, so I think I missed a couple times. But anyway, let's do something more fun. Do the old Western Rattler 357. Why not? I like these skulls to be perfectly destroyed. Alright. That's a real bad day. That's mush. That's a mush. Little hole, lot of damage. Look at that. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. That's just complete mush. Look at the crack on that. Alright, so this is the next day, and you're getting ready to see it already broke apart like this, and I talk about how this is the thick part I was showing you. Apparently, while I was tearing it apart, it was not recording, and I didn't realize that until I started editing the video. But what I was showing you guys was just how thick this skull is, and it's thick anatomically in the places it's supposed to be. These are very, very realistic. These are not a 3D printed kind of stuff or plaster or something like that. These are extremely realistic. You can see here just how thick that is. Look at that. So I've had people say in the past that these are, think that these are not realistic. These are extremely, extremely realistic as far as thickness goes. Some parts of your skull are not very thick. Some parts are. So anyway, jeez. So, yeah. I hate you missed that, because that's one of my favorite things to do in these videos is, you know, tear them apart. But anyway, all right, back to the show. All right, so that is how destroyed it was on the inside. And then this piece here, that's that big thick area I was showing y'all. So will the Six Needler penetrate bone? I think we've proven that. I wasn't looking on that last one. I should have been more. So yes, it will. Yes, it will. I'll still stick to everything I said at the first of the video. But obviously, if you hit somebody in a nugget with this thing, that is going to be a bad day. That's one organ that's not going to fare well from a needle sticking in it. But again, accuracy with this thing is definitely not that great at all. And I probably did miss with the other one, but that's because the optic, I had been switching it out and stuff, and it was probably not sighted in at all with the X68, because I'm pretty positive that I hit those three right there. So, because that thing would have done more damage if I was hitting it right. But because that was, I don't know how many joules, I can't remember. I'll tell you in a minute. All right, just for the heck of it, it's about dark, but it's about 60 yards up there to the 8-inch steel on that tree. That should be it. Alright, so I know at the first of this video I told you guys I was going to change out the valve, show you guys how to do that, and test it with the other valve. For one thing, I've got to keep this video under an hour, and I'm already about at an hour anyway as it stands. I'm going to kind of have a hard time without doing that, keeping it under an hour. So we're going to do that in a separate video, so stay tuned for that. Like I was saying, I don't think I'm even going to run it with the other valve, because if they're telling me that the accuracy decreases with that valve, and then after seeing how this performs with the factory valve, or the valve that it came installed with, I guess they're both factory, but I don't think it needs more power, and it does need more accuracy. So I'm thinking that this is probably the way I'll run it, but I will do that video very soon to show you guys how to do it, and we will get some numbers and just see for science. But anyway, so here's what I want to see after seeing this thing hit the ballistic skull. Alright, so everything I said at the first of this video, I still hold true to that, but after seeing how well this thing penetrates into bone, this thing would hurt. This thing would hurt a lot, because while it's not going to cause, you know, the bleeding and stuff quickly, if it hits an artery and then you pull it out, yeah, you're going to have bleeding, but as small as it is, it's not going to be some, you know, quick kind of thing. So I still stick with all that. However, after seeing how this thing will penetrate very easily into that really dense foam, and how easily it will penetrate bone, this thing is going to hurt. Like, it's going to really hurt if it hits bone. And I mean, think about it. This is Margaret. So, you know, you think about it like in a chest, you know, this is cartilage.
You've got bone here. There's a lot of nerves on your intercostal muscles in between. Like if you've ever, broken a rib or anything, that actually hurts pretty doggone bad. Sternum, I already said at the first of the video, that's going to really hurt. After seeing this thing in action, if, the throat, you've got spine back there, yeah, this thing's going to be pretty doggone ouchy. Seriously. So anyway, I'm really trying to make this under an hour, but I said I was going to talk about my experience with the company. So I bought that Ballistic skull. When I ordered mine, it said that these were going to ship in August. So I ordered that Ballistic skull at the 1st of August. And you guys probably couldn't tell, but the skin had already separated from the skull some and everything. I kind of had to pull it back together. I thought it was actually going to be ruined by the time I got back from Florida, but it worked out. But they said that it was going to ship in August. It didn't ship until like the 12th or 13th of September. I never got a confirmation telling me that it had shipped. I had to actually contact them and say, hey, listen, some of my viewers are asking me why I'm not making videos with mine yet, because they ordered theirs after I ordered mine, and they've already got theirs, but I don't have mine. So then they sent me a shipping number or a tracking number. When I tracked the tracking number, it said that the label had been created and they were still awaiting on shipment. They told me, no, it's actually been shipped on Friday, even though the tracking's not showing up. So I waited until the following Tuesday. So a week later. So I waited from Friday to Friday and then till Tuesday. So, almost right at a week and a half before I contacted them again and said, hey, look, it's still not saying anything has happened. What's the deal? So I was told, well, the CEO says that we got to wait another 5 days, so a full 2 weeks from when it said the label was created before they were going to consider that it was lost. Well, anyway, it did end up showing up like on the 28th, I believe, of September, even though the label was created on like the 12th or 13th. So didn't have to wait the full 5 days before the tracking actually started, but I had received an email from the guy, and I actually posted it, and it was kind of like, you may be disappointed, but at least we weren't wrong about the shipping or whatever. No, I'm sorry for your, inconvenience or anything. Thanks for planning to make a video for 40-some thousand people to potentially watch. Sorry that, we said it's going to ship in August, but you didn't get it till almost October while you've been sitting there with the Ballistic skull. And I explained the situation to him. So there's no I'm sorry in it whatsoever. Other people like Damian Darko, that I talked about earlier, he received his but didn't get the darts with his, So not the greatest experience as far as the company goes, but I do like the product. It's pretty interesting. It's more kind of novelty than anything. I'll probably still carry an X68 or something above this, but definitely a good conversation piece, and I've got to end this now.